Hi guys, welcome to Making It Digital. Today we're going to talk about changing your shutter speed, your aperture or your f-stop, and your ISO and white balance settings. So first we're going to start off with how you change your ISO. Today I'm using a Canon Rebel XSI DSLR. This is your traditional camera that most people use, and it comes with a 50mm lens, which most cameras do. So for my camera and most other cameras, along with Nikon cameras, we have a little button called an ISO button right on the top of your camera. So today, if you click this button right here, it says ISO on it, and you can select this, and on your screen you can see a couple different settings. For this lens I can go all the way down to 100, and then I can also go all the way up to 1600. So today, since I was shooting indoors, I selected 800. And then the reason why I chose this is because like inside you don't have as much light coming through as you would outside, and so when you're outside I would recommend using a lower ISO setting because obviously you have more natural light coming in, so you don't need to produce that light. So the next stop you're going to talk about is your aperture or your f-stop. So your f-stop is actually located right here in your manual mode on your camera. You can go all the way down to a f2, but you have to have a special kind of lens for that. Mine only goes down to 4.5 with a 50mm lens. You have to have a smaller lens to open up that aperture. So when I'm talking about aperture, that's when your lens has a big, very wide opening for light to just come straight into the camera. So for this, obviously the lower your f-stop is, the more light's coming in. So the higher it is, the less light you're coming in. So that's what you would use probably for more of a long exposure photo, but in this case I was taking a fast photo indoors. So today, in order to change your f-stop, what you do is you click this little AV plus minus sign, you hold that down, and then on the top of your camera you have a scroll button right near the shutter button where you actually take the photo, and you just move that back and forth and you can change your f-stop. So I put mine at 5.6 since I am shooting indoors. And then the next thing you're going to change is your white balance. So your white balance usually can be changed in your settings on most cameras, even on your Nikons. So today I actually have a nice little button feature on my camera. It says WB white balance for short. You select this and you get a couple of different settings. You can do auto, sunny, shady, cloudy, tungsten, and flash. So I don't recommend using the auto one because your camera only knows so much and it only sees gray technically. So I will talk about that in another series. But for this case I chose tungsten because it's indoor lighting, and obviously as you can see a lot of lights produce like a yellow golden color, and like if that's not what you're going for, I would choose to do tungsten, so you get that the blues and the greens and the reds in the photo, and then you can edit it later. So I chose tungsten, and then we're going to change the shutter speed. So your shutter speed is actually this little button right here. It comes with a little dial, and if you ever click the shutter button, your photo button, lightly, not all the way down, you can see this move around, and depending where you have light it'll move around. So you want to center that little dial, and in order to do this, what you will do is go right up to the scroll button again. You don't have to hold anything down, and you just go back and forth, and you can go all the way up to 30 seconds before you hit bulb. And then you can also go all the way down, really fast photos up to about 1/4000th of a second. So I don't recommend doing that. You're not going to get much out of that because the faster your photo is, the less light you're going to capture, and so you're not going to capture much if that's not what you're going for. So for my case, today I was taking pictures of my kitten, and he's obviously a very curious little critter, so he's gonna move around quite a bit, so you want to take a faster photo, not a 2-second photo, because that's just going to be blurry and silhouette-y, and for this case that's not what I was going for. So I changed mine all the way up to 1/15th of a second, which is your average speed for a camera. So when you are shooting in auto mode, that's about what it's going to be taking, but depending on what you're doing. So And after that, you have all your settings and ready to go. And depending on where you are, you just want to kind of play around with these settings, especially if you're not used to it. And I recommend bracketing your photos, meaning taking a whole bunch of photos at once, just because they may look good on your camera, but when you go to put it on the computer screen and blow them up, it might be a little grainy or blurry. Just try different things. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can contact me through my page, or you can go through the rest of my blog and see if it answers any of your questions, or you can comment below the video or on the blog post itself and I'll get back to you. Thank you!